Hello, and welcome back to Walking into History. Gibraltar, a city under siege. There have been 14 recorded sieges of Gibraltar. Only 5 of the sieges resulted in a change of rule. 7 were fought between Muslims and Catholics during Muslim rule, and the rest was between Spain and Britain, from 1704 to the end of the Great Siege in 1783. When Gibraltar was a garrison, most residents were from the military. When the Spanish decided to siege the rock, the locals were forced to adapt. The few civilians that lived here back then also played their part in keeping the garrison well served. This exhibition is a touching tribute to all their efforts. Located in one of the first buildings to be constructed by the British, dating back to the 18th century. Known as Willis's Magazine, it is thought to have been used to prepare and hold ammunition for transportation to the cannons around Gibraltar. Undoubtedly, one of the most important aspects of this building is the graffiti that are seen on its walls. These graffitis were made by soldiers mounting guard in the area. They used to spend their time drawing on walls in order to not fall asleep during the long hours of duty, as punishment was harsh on those days. Under siege conditions, the mixture of tension, boredom, anger, and alcohol meant that discipline had to be strict if order was to be preserved. One of the most common forms of punishment was flogging with a 9-tailed whip. A drummer in a regiment, which later became the Lancashire Fusiliers, achieved fame as the most flogged man in the British Army. In his first 14 years here he received 30,000 lashes, of which 4,000 were administered in a single year. In an age with limited nurses and medical facilities, it was the soldiers' wives who attended the sick and wounded. The high prices that could be charged for even small quantities of poor quality food tempted ships from North Africa to smuggle supplies past the enemy. But civilians often survived on little more than grass, seaweed, and wild onions. During the Great Siege, a cabbage cost the equivalent of 2.5 days of a soldier's pay, while the head and feet of a sheep sold for more than 3 weeks' wages. To escape the bombardment, people gradually abandoned their homes, until the whole population had settled south of the city in tents and ramshackle huts made from timber salvaged from their ruined houses. By the end of the first year of the Great Siege, smallpox alone had killed over 500, with the highest mortality rate amongst the children. During the siege, many people on a poor diet were closely confined for long periods in unsanitary conditions, leading to many different illnesses. On February 7, 1783, the Great Siege of Gibraltar was lifted after a peace agreement was signed between England and Spain. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe if you have enjoyed this video.